I mean, on Facebook now.
Let me set this button before you hit the live. Let me set it on here first so you go live. I'm gonna set it on first, and then we'll.
It's already on live. I think. Okay. Very cool. We're all good. And I'm super excited, G.
Good. Awesome.
I should have had a cough drop, but I don't need it now because it'll come flying out my mouth maybe if I start talking with it. So let's do that right there.
Okay.
You know what? That really is an awesome camera over there. I really like that camera. And then, well, it's 12 o'clock, isn't it?
It's 12 o'clock.
And, hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing today? Welcome Instagram Live. Welcome Facebook Live to the I Choose Me segment today. Today is my birthday. Thank you, Gary. I really appreciate it. Yep, today is my birthday, and I am so thankful to be in the land of the living. As you guys know, I'll be going back and forth because I have different cameras and whatnot going on. But I'm so thankful to, you know, be in the land of the living. You know, I want to thank you and appreciate anybody that's made a comment on Facebook or any of the text. Happy birthdays for the people that invited me to go to lunch and dinner and to hang out. I thank you and appreciate you so much. My sisters, Erica and Tiffany, they did this happy birthday sign that's out in the front yard, and that was so sweet. And so thank you so much, sisters, for doing the sign. I really appreciate it. And then hubby, he bought me this beautiful bag. It's a backpack, and I really like backpacks because I wanted one to travel with that's kind of fancy schmancy, you know. And the one that that was chosen is one I hadn't seen anywhere, so I'm really thankful for that. And then in my brain, I can't even understand how it's 365 days already. It seems like I just had a birthday the other day, but you know, again, I'm so thankful. I'm thankful for all of my limbs and all of my body parts and everything that's doing what it's supposed to do. I'm so grateful to be in the land of the living. I'm super excited about that. And body, you served me well. Keep it up, keep it up, keep it up, arms. Keep doing what you do. Thank you, back and mouth and legs and every limb that I Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. You serve me well. You keep serving. I appreciate you so much, body. And I appreciate all of you guys. That's kind of silly, huh? It's not really silly because the truth is that that people are in situations sometimes where they're not feeling 100%. And last night I was having this goofy dream about my heels hurting. I'm like, what is this all about? But I'm very thankful. So you have some other applications on here, Gary, on Facebook Live that says that there's some action needed because it's experiencing performance issues. And then it says try closing other applications.
I can still see you well. There's no.
Okay. All right. Well, good. All right. So today we're going to be talking. I'm not going to be on here very long. We're going to be talking about expectations and how not to freak out, especially when those expectations are not met. An unmet expectation is a killer in relationships. It's a killer personally, and it's just in life, period. Unmet expectations. It's not just a single occurrence, you know what I mean? It's a life problem, and every one of us has or is experiencing some type of unmet expectation. So I can't begin to tell you what your expectations are because it's too many. It's too vast. You fill in the blank of what expectations that you have and how they have affected you in the past and how they're affecting you now. You may be asking, why am I coming on live today on my birthday? On my birthday is, on anybody's birthday, it's a time of the year where you are in high expectations, and sometimes and oftentimes you're super excited about something and those expectations are not met. And so I want to just talk to you briefly about how do you go through life without freaking out when those expectations are not met. I'm not saying that I have all the answers, but my job right now is just bring awareness today and just offer a tool or two that may help you when you want to freak out, when something opposite happens of what of what you hope for. It's like what you hope for versus what you actually see or what you observe sometimes equals freak out. It's like I was hoping for this specific thing, and then you see something else happens, and then you start to freak out. And I've been there so many times. I swear, I've been expecting something or someone else, something to happen, but then I get hit in the gut. You get that serious gut check, and I just about lost it. And my family is like, baby, what's the matter? Calm down, mama. What's going on? What's going on with you? It's gonna be okay. And I'm like, no, it's not. The whole world is coming to an end. And I freak out at some things, or have freaked out in the past with some things. And I've been there where I've tossed and turned all night long and lost a lot of sleep because I didn't know that I can cast all of my cares on God. Or maybe the pain was just too heavy at the time and I forgot that I can actually cast my cares on him and that he would take all of the burden away from me and he'll give me rest. What does the scripture, and I say, I take that back, not what is the scripture, but what is a scripture, because there's plenty of them that say about expectation. And I like the one in Psalm 37:3 where it says, delight yourself in the Lord and he will give you the desires of your heart. I don't want to, and I don't put all of my cares on mankind, because guess what? They got their own issues. And sometimes that can be disappointing to you when you cast all of your desires on mankind. But I want to delight in and trust in God's word and trust that he will give me the desires of my heart. And I want my heart to line up with his heart for me. And I've seen him come through time and time again. And the question is, it's like, how do I align my heart with his heart? what I do is I have to read the Word of God, meditate on His Word, and remember what His Word says about me. Now, I also went in and in my book, Get Up You Big Fat Procrastinator, I got a lot of definitions that came from me, but I went online to see what is the definition of expectation. And it is a strong belief that something will happen or be the case in the future, or it is a belief that someone will or should achieve something. Again, it's a strong belief that something will happen, or something will, or someone would achieve something in the future, right? It's a belief that somebody will achieve something in the future, or something will happen in the future. And then I did not know that if I typed in, what is freak out? Like, what's the definition of freak out? And I like this definition. It says it's a wildly irrational reaction or spell of behavior. I like that definition a lot. It's a wildly irrational reaction, right? Because when you feel like things are not going the way that you hope to, different people freak out different kinds of ways. And a lot of times it's an irrational reaction, right? And then sometimes things just happen in life, right? And you just freak out about them because you don't know how to handle that situation. Sometimes when you feel like you want to freak out, there's a couple of things that I like to do and that you should consider too. Number one is to observe the situation and then kind of go with the flow. You know what I mean? It's like, I see what's happening and I'm choosing not to freak out, and I'll just go with the flow. And I'd like you to think about when you're freaking out, you can use what I like to call the swerve with it. Something is happening, you observe the situation, and you swerve. And swerving is just go another direction, make another decision, and it's okay. And then number 3 is to be aware of the opportunities when you are in that situation. You can see and analyze the big picture, and you'll find out that things are not as bad as you thought that they were. I remember years ago, a lot of you guys know the story, that when I was in college, I had a full ride scholarship to the University of Houston. And I played there my freshman year and my sophomore year. And after my sophomore season, I flunked out of school because I didn't make the right grades. And I had to go home and, my mother had to pay for my education. And I just asked my coach, if I get my act together this year, because it just took 1 year, if I get my act together this year, would you hold my scholarship? And the coach said yes. And I'm so appreciative for that. I am where I am today because I made that decision to get my act together. You know what I mean? And so when I came back and it was time to play, I didn't get on the court. Like, there was somebody that was in my position. I did not get on the court. And I was in high expectation of playing because I had done well my freshman year, had done really well my sophomore year, and I knew that by my junior year, my expectations and my hope was real high, right? But when I got out there, it wasn't quite the same, right? And I was really afraid to talk to my coach about what was happening in that situation because I didn't want to feel rejected. I didn't want him to say, well, because, coach, I want to play. What do I need to do to get on the court? And I didn't want him to say, well, there's nothing you can do to get on the court. I already got my team set. But, I put on my big girl underwear and I asked the question. I'm like, coach, I really want to get on the court. What do I need to do to play? And of course, he showed me what I needed to do. I made the adjustment. It worked out, and the rest is history. But this is a great example of analyzing the big picture and being aware of the opportunities. I could have freaked out, but I chose not to freak out because I knew what it is that I wanted, and I knew that there were opportunities if I were to align myself with what was taking place and then not freak out. Got it? And I remember this man was telling a story about his wife not cooking as he expected to in their relationship. You know, he thought, this is my wife, we is married now. And I really expect her to cook. Like, we married, so you got to cook for me, right? And when he kept coming home from work and there was no food, he used to freak the heck out because he expected to come home to a full home cooked meal every single day. Nay, nay. And they used to fight about it all the time because she too was extremely tired from working all day. So she didn't feel like she wanted to cook either. And when he decided that that particular expectation was not going to be met the way he hoped that it would be met, he swerved and said, look, I'm a grown man. I love my wife. I need to go out there and, you know, get me something to eat. You know, I want peace in my home. I can go buy my own food. I can learn how to cook. I need the peace in my home. And this is another example of the swerve. You just go another way. Got it? And I also train volleyball girls, right? And years ago, and I always talk to them about following the process and trusting the process, right? And years ago, I remember Serena Williams talking about with her coach that, you know, they would hit balls back and forth and he hit balls to her. So, you know, as she's training, and the balls were coming kind of soft and they were too easy for her. And she, you know, was like, look, these girls are out here trying to kill me. I can't get any better if you keep giving me these easy balls. I need you to get these balls in here nice and strong so that I can get better. And I remember me and Tabitha following that same philosophy that Serena talked about. It's like, you know, Tabitha, that people are here trying to take your head off. They're going to serve balls to you. They're going to hit balls to you. They're going to do all kinds of things so they can take you out of your game. So you have to get tougher and stronger, right? And so I would bang balls to her, bang, 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 hit them hard, hit them fast, or whatever. And it just got her better in the game. And I would do the same thing like I'm doing it now with kids, because I could go the easy route all the time, just easy repetitions or whatnot. And the question is like, are you really getting better? And, but what I found out is that they all freak out. I'll bang balls at them and they're like, ah, arms are all over the place. The ball is all over the place. And so I started to call the drills. Okay, this is the don't freak out drill. This is a don't freak out drill. So listen, you go with the flow. You can go with the flow and not freak out. Follow and trust the process, and all will be well. Now, I want to discuss, and again, like I mentioned, I'm not going to be on here forever, and I hope that you're having a blessed day and that all is well, right? Well, anyway, I want to talk to you about three reasons why people freak out, and when especially when they believe that their expectations are not being met. Number one is communication. Either the person, yourself, myself, or whatever, there's not any effective communication, or there's absolutely no communication at all. You have everything that's all up in your head about how you feel about a situation, but you don't express what's going on the inside of you with anybody. And then one day you look up and the relationship is irreparable. Irreparable. Is that a word? Well, anyway, you know, like you can't repair the relationship because you had all of that pent up anxiety and stress and concerns on the inside of you, and you didn't speak to somebody. But one of the things that you can do, of course, is be an effective communicator with your partner, with the people that are around you. Another reason why people freak out is because the expectations are not clear. You haven't brought clarity to that situation. For example, if you are a married couple or what have you, the division of labor in the home. It's like one person is saying, when I grew up, my mother cooked. My mother washed the dishes, right? And then the other person, you know, and you're expecting that from another person, and the other person is going, well, where I grew up, my daddy was the cook, and he's the one that washed the dishes, right? And so the truth is that you need to make sure that when you're in relationships with people, that your expectations are clear. And one of the reasons that people freak out and they start fighting is because the expectations are not clear. So it's really important that you have clear communication with your partners, right? And this is a big one. As far as expectations are not clear. You have a partner that's like, I need sex 3 days a week. And the other partner's like, it don't take all that. And y'all end up fighting, about something that y'all could have communicated with earlier, and then of course gotten on the same page. Another one under communication is assumptions. I assumed that if I worked at this particular job, that there was going to be upward mobility, right? But the question is did you ask when you got started? There's so many positions that people get involved with, engineers, like we were talking about engineers the other day. Sometimes that engineers, they, super smart. They start off making a whole bunch of money at first, and they look up 20 years down the road and there's still an engineer making around the same amount of money, right? And then you freak out with your family and, and they're like, what in the world just happened? And why did dad do this? Or why did mom do that? Right? So you assume something when you get into a partnership or a relationship or what have you. And then, of course, that expectation is not met. You look up, all of a sudden you're freaking the heck out. But it's because you didn't have clear communication about the assumptions that you were making. Another one under communication is trusting what people say. I love this phrase, y'all. I really do. In God I trust, and everybody else I check out thoroughly. I did not coin that phrase. One of the pastors at a church that I went to, he coined that phrase, or maybe he got it from somebody else. I don't know, but I really like that phrase. In God I trust, and everybody else I check out thoroughly. Somebody asked me the other day, they're like, Letitia, why is your trust level so low when it comes to other people? And I'm like, it's not low. It's just easier for me to hope that people are telling the truth. But if they don't, I'm not going to freak out about it. Because in God I trust, and everybody else I check out thoroughly. I was talking to somebody yesterday. They were like, I don't understand it. She says that when people are doing a lot of talking, sometimes you got to check them, right? It's like you do so much talking, eventually you're going to find a lie in there, right? So for me, in God I trust, and everybody else I check out thoroughly. Maybe you're in a situation that, that you're divorced or whatever, and maybe your dad or your mom or whatever, they're not in the home with you, right, as a kid. And as a mother or a father, whichever the situation is, that one party that you trusted, they said, I'm going to be there to pick you up on this day and at this time. Or maybe I was going to provide you with this amount of money or that amount of money, right? And you are in high expectation because you trust what the people were saying. And then they, of course, don't follow through on what they said. And then, of course, you freak the heck out, right? And it affects you for years, right? Number 2, one of the other reasons that people freak out is fear. They're afraid of what others will think. You really want to be yourself, and you expect others to accept the trueness of who you are. But you hold back, and then one day you freak the heck out and do something that's so dangerous because you were afraid to be yourself because you cared so much about what other people were thinking about you. Fear. You have the fear of hurting other people's feelings, or that person that you're in a relationship with can't take straight talk. Right? You keep things on the inside of you that's important to you, and sometimes you're afraid of being able to discuss what's really going on with you because you know that, or you fear that the information that you share with them could be a deal breaker and that you don't want to hurt their feelings. So you hold that information on the inside of you because you don't want to hurt their feelings. And then again, like I said, you look up one day and then you are mad all the time. You're on the borderline about to walk out on a relationship that could have been saved if you had not been afraid to have a straight conversation with somebody. Number 3, things don't turn out the way you hoped, meaning people freak out because things don't turn out the way that you hope that they would. You know, like in business, for instance, maybe you're starting a business and the opportunities don't pan out the way that you wanted them to pan out. You really thought the idea that you had was a good idea, and because maybe you lose money, maybe you don't you lose resources, you lose time, whatever it is, you hoped that it will go a certain kind of way. Your expectations regarding your business were high, and you freak out when things don't work out the way that you hope that they would. Or maybe you're on a job situation, right? And they told you that there's opportunity for mobility, upward mobility in the job, right? And they said, okay, you know, you need to do 1, 2, or 3, or A, B, and C, maybe get an education or whatever. And then you look up one day because you wanted to be in management, for instance, right? And you look up one day and you're going, wait a minute, everybody around me is moving up. And you look at this, for those who, you know, like the color of your skin, and you start thinking all kind of stuff. Is it because the color of my skin? The color of their skin, people are moving up, but the color of my skin, people, we're all kind of hanging out here, you know, the same. And you start to freak out. It's like everybody's getting promoted around me except me. And so things don't turn out the way that you hoped that they would. Or another reason people freak out is because of broken relationships, right? Things don't turn out the way that you hope that they would within those relationships. Look, I hope that if I got with this type of man or whatever, that he would be able to help me financially when things got tough for me. But he didn't, and he don't. He's not that kind of person. Things didn't turn out the way you hoped. Or you hope that she would want to spend a whole bunch of time with you, you know, like a lot of time with you, and y'all hung out together, right? But she won't. She hasn't. Broken relationships. You hope that you will be able to have children, but we can't. Now what? Do you freak out? But that's what happened with me and Gary. You know, we have 2 miracle babies together. The doctor said that I couldn't have any babies, and I freaked the heck out, right? Thankfully, he remembered the relationship that he has with God and who we are, and he, you know, spoke life into the situation. But that could have been something where the relationship was broken. Why? Because I hope to be able to give him a child, right? And I hope that we'd have a strong, healthy, happy family. Then guess what? God was on our side, and we delighted ourselves in him, and he gave us the desire of our heart. So I'm super, super happy to be, and somebody, I wonder how this goes. Somebody said they wanted to be in my live. I don't know what that means. I don't even know what that means. I don't know if that means that somebody wants to jump in, because, you know, me and technology and all of that. I don't know. But that would be cool. Maybe we can do that one time where people can jump in on the live and give their opinions or whatnot. Let me cancel this because Zachary is calling me and live, I'm sure, to wish me a happy birthday. He's in Germany. Well, anyway, just real fast. So money and finances, you know, regarding things that you hope. Could you call Zachary for me and let him know that I can't talk to him right now? I'm on my live. So money and finances. I was hoping to save this amount of money, and this situation came up, for instance. Like what we're dealing with the pandemic, right? Situations like the pandemic. I didn't think that I was going to lose money or lose a job or what have you, but I hoped that I would be okay and everything was settled. I was hoping that all of these years that I've been working with this organization, with this company or whatnot, that I would still be able to maintain the lifestyle that I was used to. But the pandemic happened. Or maybe dealing with money and finances, you know, illnesses happen, right? It's like I can't go to work. people are being have had died from COVID. They're sick and can't take care of themselves. And let me tell you, during this pandemic, we've seen more mental health issues than ever before. And I'm so thankful that people are talking about their mental health issues, letting other people know that they're not alone, right? Like, you're not the only one. And then people are getting the help that they need. And then another one is like just emergency situations. I hope that I'll be able to hold on to my money, but guess what? Something broke down and now my money is low. I have to spend thousands of dollars to get something fixed, right? And so we freak out when those kinds of things happen. There are a couple of things that happen when expectations are not met. One of them is anxiety and depression, like I mentioned earlier. When things don't happen or the expectations are not met, we freak out and we have anxiety and depression. Frustration. I hope that when I married you that I would have a home cooked meal every day. I hoped when I married you and you got your MBA in this particular field and you said that you're going to make this amount of money, and we talked about this together, but then you decide you want to do something completely different. Now you want to paint. Now you want to farm. Now you want to do this. And I'm sitting over here frustrated because that expectation of what we even discussed is not even met. And then, of course, stress happens. We know about stress. And then, of course, a whole bunch of wasted time. Wasted time maybe in a relationship, God forbid. Wasted time on a job. But these are kind of the things that happen when expectations are not met. And there are 5 ways that I want to share with you on how not to freak out from unmet expectations. Number 1 is to know what you want. You have to be very specific about what it is that you want. Knowing what you want is half the battle. I want, when I get into a relationship with a person, I want a clean house when I come home from work. Okay, did y'all talk about it in advance? Did y'all talk about the division of labor? Did you tell your partner that it's really important to me that every time we wake up in the morning, the bed has to be made? When I go to work, I like my desk to look like this. Whatever it is, what will you do when that expectation is not met? So it's really important to understand and be specific about what you want. What is it that you want, and be specific. And then the second one, of course, is to understand the purpose behind the thing in advance. Let's say that you're an athlete and you got a scholarship to play ball in college, for instance. What's your purpose when choosing a team? Is it because they have the degree plan that you want, and your primary focus is getting that degree so that you can fulfill your vocational opportunities and desires, right? Do you want to play for a team because you have a chance to play professionally? We know the University of Kentucky's basketball team, they turn out a lot of professional basketball players. So my purpose for this thing is to play professionally. Are you going to school because you want to find your mate there? I didn't even know that was a thing, but people really go to college to find their mates. In my culture, I don't even know if we talk about that kind of thing, but people go to school for that. Are you going because you want to be an All-American and you want to help that team to win a championship? Understanding the purpose behind a thing. And listen, and you have to be realistic about it as well. It's like, yeah, I'm going to this school, I'm going to be an All-American, but they never turned out an All-American. Got it? We want to be a champion. Well, seriously, are you going to that school thinking that you're going to be, win championships? You have to really think about what it is that you're, the purpose behind the thing that you're doing. Got it? And it has to be realistic as well. And maybe you're just like being a part of a team. Maybe you work for a specific job. You join an athletic team because you like the team culture, right? And you may not even get a chance to get out on the field. You may not get a chance to get out on the court, but you really enjoy the team atmosphere. And guess what? That's okay. And then purpose in relationships with a partner or a marriage. Are you in there because you want to build a family? Maybe, you need daily companionship. Maybe you just love somebody so much that you want to be in a marriage with them. Or maybe it's for financial security. You get your money, I get my money, we get our money, and we're going forward, and we'll have financial security. Or maybe we use all your money. I don't know. I build the household, you make the money. Whatever it is, financial security. I was watching this show where this lady was like, I just want to tell you that, my desire is to be a stay-at-home mom. She said it out front. My desire is to be a stay-at-home mom, but I just want to let you know, I got this, that, and this, that. And it's something that they communicated about, right? So that's, something that's really important when you're talking about communication. Or maybe you want a lifelong commitment with somebody and you're willing to go through all of life with them. Got it? That's a lifelong commitment to a person. Now, here's the thing. When you understand the purpose behind a decision, you won't freak out as much if something happens. Your expectations are more likely to be fulfilled because you kind of know what to possibly expect. You know what I mean? The expectations behind the thing increase because you know the purpose behind the thing. And my husband and I, we suggest that in families that you have family meetings, because all expectations can be communicated ahead of time in your family meetings. If you don't do family meetings, I encourage you to do that. And then number 3, on how not to freak out, open up your mouth and state what you want. Communicate with love. You gotta state what you want. You can't expect anybody to read your mind. And if you do expect somebody to read your mind, you're in for a rude awakening. And even an unnecessary loss of a relationship, whether it's a friendship, a love relationship, or whatever it is. Open up your mouth and talk about what you want. And then on the other side, your partner has to be open to and willing to listen to your communication. Got it? And then, of course, both of you guys, or a group of you guys, can find a healthy and an agreeable compromise. Got it? So open your mouth, communicate what you want in love. And number 4, keep your expectations high. And more importantly, like I said, that you don't expect people to fulfill all of your true expectations, right? You delight yourself in the Lord and He'll give you the desires of your heart. And with that being said, I want to encourage you, give yourself a break sometimes. Life is beautiful. Life is a journey. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy the process. There are a lot of people out there that can do some great things for you and with you. But you got to remember, they got their own thoughts. And at any given time, their thoughts may not mesh with yours. And that's okay. That's a part of life. That's a part of, being in this beautiful world, that we have our own thoughts, our own mind, our own desires. You understand what I'm saying? So keep your expectations high, because guess what? When you keep them high, God or somebody else may blow your mind. And that's super, super fun, right? When God blows your mind and He exceeds your expectations and He blows your expectations out of the water, that's an exceptional feeling. I like it when I get up in the morning and I say that I am in high expectation and anticipation of what this day has to offer, or what's set before me. And so I want to encourage you to keep your expectations high. And when things don't go the way that you hope that they will go, I say what I said earlier. Go with the flow. Pivot. Use the pivot and swerve method. Go another direction. It's okay. Or analyze it and observe it and see what the big picture is. And don't freak out about it. And number 5, this is a big one. Breathe, child. Breathe, man. Breathe, woman. Breathe, wife. Breathe, husband. Breathe, athlete. Breathe, worker. Breathe, co-worker. Breathe, whoever you are. Breathe. Relax. And become aware of your anxiousness at that moment. And just breathe so that you can see. The answer is always there. The answer is always there. And it's gonna be okay. Delight yourself in the Lord and He'll give you the desires of your heart. Listen, I want to remind you, I hope the stuff that I shared with you is pretty cool. Got it? And you'll share this message with other people. and be able to take the tools that I gave you and take your life to a whole nother level. That'll be awesome. And I want to remind you that it's important that you're choosing yourself today, that you're choosing to have a balanced lifestyle by being emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually healthy first, so that you can be of service to others. And you may be asking, Letitia, how can I bless you for my birthday? Glad you asked. I want to encourage you to get the book, Get Up You Big Fat Procrastinator, or get one of the I Choose Me products. It'll bless me. The reason it'll bless me because it gives me an opportunity to continue to share the message using the finances for advertising purposes. Being able to tell other people about what we're doing, being able to get involved with other like-minded people, so that the message of choosing yourself and getting up and giving life all that you have to offer is being circulated across the globe. So again, visit my website at LetitiaBrown.com, Latisha Brown.com, and pick up the book. And then, of course, if anybody ever want to cash at me or Venmo me, I'm always down for that. But really, I really want to help you. My desire is to give to you. My desire is always to give. That's my husband tells me all the time. He's like, you will give away everything, and I'm like, I know, I'm sorry about that, but that's just a part of who I am. I love to give, I love to share, I love coaching. It's a part of my DNA. Well, I hope you have a blessed day, and that you are choosing not to freak out when you are dealing with unmet expectations. And I look forward to seeing you all next time. God bless you real good today. Take care now. Bye-bye. X up there. Can you feel it? Ooh, gee. Knocked out everything. Okay, let's see. Did I turn it off? Okay, there you go.
I think I'm gonna knock out everything. you did great. Are you still live on Facebook? Yeah, awesome, baby.
Yeah,
Still
thank
live
you.
on Facebook.
You know, sometimes you think that